In a township bustling with life and dreams, there was a woman named Lisa, married to a kind man named Igor. They were deeply in love, and even though they didn't have much money, they were happy. Some days were good, filled with laughter and hope, and other days were hard, filled with worry. Igor worked hard in the mines, and Lisa sold sweet treats on a small table right outside. It was a simple life, but it was theirs. Then, one day, something terrible happened at the mine. Many men lost their jobs, and Igor was one of them. He came home with his head down, and a great sadness fell over their house. The money stopped coming in, and the load of supporting them both fell on Lisa's shoulders. Lisa's small sweet business was next to two other ladies, Martha and Zola. Lisa couldn't help but notice that their stores were always full. They sold their goods so fast that they had to restock every day. Lisa, however, would sometimes wait a whole week just to sell a few things. It made her struggle even harder. As time went on, the hunger in their home grew. Igor tried to find work, any kind of work, but he had no luck. He saw how much Lisa was suffering, and his heart ached. He had a little bit of money saved, and he had an idea. Instead of just eating it all, he would use it to help Lisa. He decided to go and ask the two women what their secret was. He would offer to pay them to teach his wife how to be successful. He went to them, swallowed his pride, and explained his plan. But Martha and Zola just laughed. "My brother," one of them said, "there is no secret. We just buy our stock, we sell it, and then we buy more." Igor didn't believe them. He knew there was something more. He went home feeling defeated and told Lisa what happened. Lisa was touched by his effort and told him to give her the money. She would go and try to talk to the women herself. The next day, Lisa went back with the money and a heart full of hope. "Sisters," she pleaded, "I see how you do business. I see how your stalls are always busy. My husband has lost his job, and we are suffering. Please, I just want to learn how to survive while he finds work." But they refused again. For the next few days, Lisa went to them every day, begging and pleading. Finally, on a Friday, Lisa went to them with tears in her eyes. Her husband was very sick and close to death from sadness and hunger. They were about to lose their home. This time, one of the women looked at her with a serious face. "My sister," she said, "what you are asking for is not a small thing. It is a big journey. To be like us, you must learn to keep secrets and not ask questions." She continued, "We will take you to where we get our goods, but our supplier will decide if he will sell to you. We leave tomorrow at 3 in the morning." Lisa felt a surge of pure joy. A light had finally appeared in her dark life. She rushed home and told Igor. Even though he was weak and sick, his face lit up with happiness for his wife. The next morning, at 2 a.m., Lisa got up and prepared herself. She took the money and a big bag for her new stock. She met the two women and they got into a taxi. But Lisa soon realized they were not heading towards a market. The taxi drove to a remote area and they got out. Martha and Zola led Lisa into the thick bushes. Lisa was confused, but she remembered their warning not to ask questions. She thought they were just hiding their special supplier. They walked until they reached a river. It was still dark, and a small boat was waiting for them. Lisa had so many questions, but she kept quiet. She thought maybe they were going to a village across the river to buy their goods. But when the boat reached the deepest part of the river, far from the shore, it suddenly began to turn over, with all three of them still inside. A sudden plunge into another world. In a moment of pure terror, Lisa closed her eyes. She was sure she was going to die. But instead of dying, she found herself in another world just a second later. It was a place with grey skies, but it looked like a normal city, with people, homes, schools, and markets. The only strange thing was the evil smiles on the faces of the people. Lisa was shocked but also amazed as her friends, Martha and Zola, led her through beautiful cities she had never seen before. The two women led her to a massive palace that filled Lisa with fear. Two scary creatures stood guard outside. Inside, Lisa's heart told her that something was very wrong. As they waited for the supplier, Martha and Zola explained that they were there to buy things for their business. When the supplier came in, he was angry. "You! I have been looking for you," he shouted. "You have brought yourself to me. I will not let you leave this place." The three women were confused and scared. The supplier explained, "This lady, Lisa, was among Christians who pray against me. They beat me with spiritual lashes." He then took off his royal robe, showing them his badly scarred back. He sentenced Lisa to 50 years in prison. Immediately, the palace changed into a terrible place, and Lisa realized the city and its people were all a lie. They were in hell, and the smiling people were demons. She then saw that the windows were actually the souls of people in prison. The devil showed her the cell where she would be kept, and Lisa started crying uncontrollably. Martha and Zola begged their master to let her go. They told him that Lisa's husband knew she was with them and could call the police, which would expose their secret. But their master refused. The women had to leave before the sun rose to avoid being caught by local fishermen, so they were forced to leave Lisa behind, trapped and helpless. Back at the mine, Martha and Zola went back to their normal lives, selling sweet treats as if nothing had happened. 3 days passed, and Lisa's husband, Igor, was sick with worry. He forced himself to get better and went to the market to look for his wife. He only found Martha and Zola's stall. His wife's stall was not there. "Where is my wife? She was last with you ladies," he asked. One of the women said, "Yes, we left together, but she went to the nearest village. She said she was tired of being poor and that she took the money you gave her for her business to start a new life somewhere else." Igor left, a little bit convinced but with a bad feeling. He thought about everything the women had said, as his spirit was not at peace. For the next 2 days, Igor had terrible nightmares of his wife being jailed and bitten by demons. Each time he broke her out, he would wake up, only to find she was still trapped. Feeling that something was very wrong, Igor reported Lisa as a missing person to the police. The police interviewed Martha and Zola and quickly saw that their stories did not match. The news got involved, and the story became big. The community, thinking the women had sacrificed Lisa, forced them to tell the truth. Some even threatened to burn them alive if they were released. The case was so big it reached the president's ears. Under all the pressure, the women confessed. "We have been selling sweets to school kids, miners, and people going to work," they said. But they weren't sweets from here. They were made by demons in hell using human flesh and blood. That's how we got so many customers. They went on to say that anyone who ate their sweets would have their soul trapped in hell forever. The whole courtroom, including the community, was shocked and angry. The president sent 2 soldiers with the women to see if their story was true. The women led the soldiers through thick bushes to a deep part of the river. There, their boat turned over, and the soldiers found themselves in the other world. It was a scary place with its own military. They met the master of that world, who repeated his threat. "I will not let this woman go. Anyone who wants to keep looking for her will also stay here." He then showed them the many souls he had already taken. Terrified, the soldiers returned and told the court what they had seen. Martha and Zola were arrested and also given 50 years in prison. Lisa's husband Igor, now without a wife, was never seen or heard from again. It was as if he had just disappeared. To this day, Lisa is still in jail in hell, with her release set for 2045. This story shows that not all that glitters is gold.